Hey guys, Swifty Wins here. Thanks for joining the channel for another video. Today, or I should say right now, it's that time of day where, as we all do, we log on, you kind of get a mission in mind, like am I going to, farm for Hespar today, like my last video, which you guys should check out, or am I going to farm for Thraxplasm, etc., or am I going to crack, relics today? So, right now I'm kind of farming up some rep, and specifically one of the harder ones, Cephalon Simaris. Now, most people, you kind of, you talk to him in a relay, right? And you get your little scanner device, and he's going to give you a target, quote unquote, anywhere from 3 to 5 scans required, and it's a specific enemy, and you have to get them on a specific planet or node. You start a mission, and then the screen kind of does the flicker thing, and then Cephalon Simaris' voice will come on, and he'll say, there's a Tenno, there's a war, scan target, right? And then so you got to run through the level with your scanner out and find this little tucked off room he's in, and you get a scan. Point being, you only get like 3,000 rep each time you do this. So other than that, if you just like sit there in a regular mission and just scan enemies, especially non-steel path, and especially if they're alerted, so if you just like sit up on a cliff and they're aware of you and you're scanning people with their little scanner from a distance, you're really getting very low amounts of reps. So he's one of the more notorious ones that it's hard and nobody really goes out of their way. However, today, you guys you're gonna owe me. All right, you're gonna owe me a like, a subscribe, and a comment, because after this, I'm gonna show you the fastest technique I've ever heard of, I've ever done, I've ever seen for farming up some Simaris rep. And just like everybody else's daily standing cap, depending on what your MR rank is, you only need to do this until you hit right here. For me, it's 21,000 more for the day. So usually you can do, actually I know you can do this in one session, and here is the secret. Let's go. So what you're going to want to do, and now disclaimer, hopefully you guys have access to Steel Path already. That's kind of key, because for whatever reason, scanning Steel Path versions of enemies gives you more than scanning regular enemies. So if you can still do this without Steel Path, don't get me wrong, it's just going to take you probably twice as long. So if you have Steel Path, go over, activate it, go up here. You're exclusively going to want to be solo, because we're going open world here, guys. And you don't want to be disrupted. It's just easier solo because you're doing your thing. And you're going to Venus, if it would let me click on it. And we're going not just the Fortuna, but the trick is Orb Vallis, you guys. So solo, Steel Path, Orb Vallis. You don't even have to fight enemies. It's amazing. So don't even worry, guys, if you have Steel Path, but you're not powerful enough and they're still kind of hard to fight, no interaction necessary. You just do this exactly how I'm showing. Another disclaimer is you'll probably want, again, you don't need, but you probably want your arc wing. So I remember when I was a newer player, it took a while before I was able to craft the arc wing launcher, as you can see here. So you're going to want to have your arc wing. Boom. All right, and we're going to go over here. So so we just came out of the elevator, by the way. You're going to face forward, and we're going over here. I think it's to the Temple of Prophet or something, right? Whatever it's called. And you can see it in the distance, this thing. So you're basically just going northeast right out the gate. Fortuna. You're going to fly high up, as high, like not as high as possible, but about as high up as the statue over here or the shrine, because you don't want enemies to be alerted, right? Okay, now I like to come over to this corner just like this, and now you turn off sprint. So now you have the slow flying, right? Instead of the fast like this. Okay, so turn off sprint, you go nice and slow, and now you activate your Simaris scanner. Boom. Now, I found that the draw distance, even though I have it set to max, enemies don't spawn till about 150. There we go. They just spawned in. And I'm looking at the distance here. It's right below the center crosshair. See how 139 meters, if I back up, 140. So just like a sniper rifle, that's distance to target. If you go past like 180 meters, there's no enemies. Now there are, but to spawn them initially, right? So anyway, I'm blabbing. So now, even from this far away, just put your little crosshair on them, hold down scan. You can get a little closer to make it easier. Boom. That's almost 400 rep just from one. Boom. You just sit here, do this. Just hit each target. Boom. Very, very quick, very easy. Now we're going to have to do this in a few loops, but essentially this is way faster than any other process. Now there's usually 5-6 guys there. There's usually an Eximus here. So what's cool is you learn the setup. You see if there's a guy walking here. No. Then you come over to these sidewalks, right? You fly a little closer because, again, the enemies have to spawn. There's one. Okay, so we get one more here. We get one more here. Another Eximus, right? And now you guys are kind of getting the point here. Every 3 that you do is already over 1,000 rep for Simaris. So you can max out your daily pretty quick. Make sure you're not missing any guys over here. And now we have scanned this whole area. So now what you do is turn on sprint and you just leave. You're going to fly over here. I like to fly all the way back to this statue. It's just a good marker point because we're trying to get so far away that it's going to despawn all the enemies we already scanned. And then we're going to fly back over and it's going to respawn brand new enemies and you get to scan them all over again. And this is it, guys. It's amazing. You don't have to fight anyone. You don't have to worry about your build or if, oh my God, I'm going to die, there's steel path. Because if you do go down there and start fighting, even for a frame like me that's pretty strong, especially solo, you can get overwhelmed, you know, especially as their ranks start to increase with each respawn. Okay, so again, make sure you fly high, right? Fly high, come to the corner here, turn off sprint so you have a nice controllable, and then turn on your scanner. Boom. Oop. Scanner. Okay. Now here we go. Now these should be freshly spawned enemies. Once again, yes, perfect. You see this? Oh, it's a little hard. I'm using a controller, by the way, so my aim isn't super precise, but it's just as easy as this, guys. It's such a awesome technique, and I'm not claiming to be the one that invented it. I got it from another guy on YouTube. Shout out. I wish I had his name. I would definitely shout you out, my dude. But I wanted to make my own version of this video so anyone who views mine can get the same technique. I think it needs to be shared. This is amazing. All right, guys, now come over to the sidewalk again. Come a little closer, make sure the sidewalk enemies have spawned. There's one. Now if they're walking, those of you on keyboard and mouse will have an easier time. It's a little harder to track with a stick, especially this far away. But look at this, we're getting a scan for every single guy. See, make sure there's not one or two. Oh, here we go, there's one here. Whoop. See, it's hard with a sensitive thumbstick. Okay. And that's not a guy. Okay. Turn sprint on. We're dashing away. And it's this easy, guys. Serious. And it doesn't take all that long, you'll see. Maybe 1 or 2 more loops of this, and that's all. And then when we go back, we'll see, I'll show you guys the overall runtime of how long this took. And this is going to completely max us out for the day. So it's a little annoying to remember to do this. You don't have to do it every day, but I would, because obviously it takes 24 hours or 18 hours before you can farm up more rep with a faction again. But Simaris has some really cool mods and really good goodies, so I think it's worth doing if you think of it. Once you're aware of this technique, you guys, and you think of it, like I did just now, I thought I'd make a video about it, and I'm going and doing it for the day, and you're done probably within 10, 12 minutes. And within, what, 3 days, you'll have upwards of 80k with Simaris. That's enough to buy some nice mods. And there's other things there as well. So I think most people avoid trying to farm any sort of Simaris rep. You just kind of let it add up over time to get like the rolling guard mod or stuff like that. But you end up kind of just like passively waiting like weeks, you know, until you... But if you do it this way, like I said, within 3 days of doing this and diligently, let alone if you want to get up over 100,000 rep, that's when you can get some of the really good, I think probably like rolling guard. I mean, access for new players, again, if you want access to the simulacrum, that would be one of the first things I recommend buying, because that's where you see YouTubers going in to do that practice against stationary targets. Sorry guys, my alarm's going off, hold on. Sorry about that, I forgot I had an alarm set. Gotta go pick up some groceries after this. So, let's see how fast I can wrap this up, y'all. Scan these people. It's a little annoying when they're walking that you have to track them so precisely with the dot. They made it so you have to literally have the dot right on. Okay, I already scanned him. I thought that was a guy. Here's another guy. Make sure not to get too close to the ground. Okay, got him. And now we go back again. Boom. Sprint, dash. And it's really this easy, guys. Especially if you have the Arcwing and you already have access to Steel Path. You are definitely getting more rep per scan. Upwards of 400. And it is a big deal to scan unaware targets. That's just how they designed it. So if they're oblivious targets, you're getting, like you saw, 378 per scan. And that adds up really quick. So even if this doesn't max out my daily... Oops, see, if you forget to turn off sprint, you're flying like this fast. So turn off sprint, and now scan them. Easy peasy. It's amazing. So just for the sake of the length of the video and everybody's attention span, I will probably... I usually go until I max my daily, which is 21,000 rep in this case. But I'll just end the session after this. We'll extract and we'll kind of add up what I got and the runtime especially. I want you guys to get an idea of how fast you can do this. No stress, no conflict. Awesome. Really good farm. Really good technique. Except for when they're all walking and you're a mile away. So I'm going to get a little closer. Oh my god. Sometimes I just give up. That one's too hard. Scanned him already. Did I scan Eximus already? Nope. Got him. How about you? Yep, I need him. Come on. So this is all. That's the most tedious part. Oh my god, I'm gonna get a little closer. See, as soon as they're aware of me, though, you lose it. Sorry guys, this must be so triggering to watch. Alright. At least that one part was. Let's see if I can do that. Come on! Maybe an experiment I should do is just use mouse for this. I like to use a controller on... I do play on PC, and I just find controller more ergonomic and friendly, you know? Especially with this game where you're constantly hitting, at least when you're not in Arcwing. And obviously the fastest way to move in this game... Let me just get out of Arcwing. You know, bullet jump, roll, bullet jump, aim glide. Let me get back to my weapons. Aim glide, roll, slide, bullet jump, glide, roll, bullet jump, right? So, alright. Let's extract. It's down here without getting lost. Let's do a slingshot action. That's an ability that these Arcwings give you, by the way. It's all Arcwings. You get the blueprints from a clan dojo, by the way. It has that slingshot feature, or grappling hook, you could call it. It's pretty cool. All right, so without further ado, let's see how long I was in session. So check that out. So yeah, if I just didn't want to bore you guys too much more, but if I had stayed in and just done 1-2 more rounds of that, I would have maxed my daily. Simaris jumped right up to, now I got 67,000 rep. And like I said, once you've done this once, and here we go, I was in for not even 10 minutes, you guys. So you basically run this for 12 minutes, you know, every day, if you could think of it, or if you have time, or every other day, or whatever. And before you know it, you'll be able to afford Rolling Guard. And I think Rolling Guard and other mods, like Botanist mod for the Oxalis, which is, I'm using him, by the way. Some people like that because there's another farm we can talk about. That's another mod. So especially if you guys are into selling the more exotic stuff on Warframe.Market, shout out. It's a great website, by the way, for make yourself some platinum for grinding. Yeah, you can get some Simaris because Simaris is usually so hard to farm rep to buy mods and stuff. But with my little technique here, don't tell anyone, all right? But... I'm just kidding. Yeah, but you go farm up your rep quicker than most players. Go use it to your advantage. Buy some mods and go post them on the market and sell them, dude. So thank you guys for watching. Until the next one.